Typhoon Soulik update for Philippine name is Huaning, of course, currently with winds of 100 miles per hour, pressure of 959 millibars. Current position is 23.8 degrees north, 123.8 degrees east, and that puts it very close to the Yaeyama Islands in Japan. As a matter of fact, the eye wall is moving over that island at the moment. The edge of the eye, indeed, is moving over that island right now. And the storm's expected to make landfall in Taiwan, possibly as a Category 2 storm, and then moving into China as a Cat 1. Typhoon warnings for Taiwan and its outlying islands, the Miyako and Yaeyama Islands in Japan, and an orange typhoon alert for the coast of China at the moment. Torrential rain warnings in effect for large parts of Taiwan as well. Lots of rain expected here, especially in the central and northern areas, and a Signal 2 warning in effect for the Batanes Islands in the Philippines. That's for winds of, I believe, 40 to 60 miles per hour, correct me if I'm wrong. The gale advisory in effect for Okinawa, Japan, and Signal 1 warnings in effect for the Calayan Islands in the Philippines. That's for winds of 20 to 40 miles per hour, I believe, there as well. So obviously lots of warnings flying out at the moment. The sea surface temperatures, there's still a very warm patch between the storm and Taiwan of 30-degree waters or higher, so that may provide a little bit more energy for intensification just before its landfall in Taiwan, so it might be a high-end Cat 2 once more by the time it makes landfall. Temperatures around 29 degrees, maybe even 30 or more, where the storm is headed in between that little gap between Taiwan and the Japanese islands. This is the latest satellite imagery you can see of the past 24 hours or so. It's moved a little bit towards the north, you can see there, and that is possibly a good thing, as it will most likely then clip the northern tip of Taiwan instead of making landfall over the central part of the island, which was a scenario predicted by one of the computer models a few days ago. These are the floater models overlaid onto the storm warnings map. You can see how the storm has moved very close to the Yaeyama Islands in the past few hours. And I believe in the latest satellite imagery picture, which isn't shown on this animation, that the eye wall, the eye itself, part of the eye, has moved over that island as it moves towards the west-northwest, and that's probably going to be the same scenario in Taiwan. I imagine the eye will clip the very northern tip of Taiwan, unless it moves back towards the south again. Otherwise, in that case, then we'll probably have a bit more of a situation there. You can see, quite unfortunately as well, that most of the worst of the cloud cover and the most intense weather is to the south of the eye, which is probably bad news for Taiwan in terms of heavy rainfall, which will probably lead to flooding and indeed strong winds of Category 2 force, maybe even gusting to Category 3 typhoon force. So this is the current full picture then, July the 12th. You can see Soulik is the only thing going on apart from extratropical, well, remnants of Chantal, which may or may not regenerate, probably not at this stage, but more on that in the bulletin later this evening. And there's Soulik there in the Pacific Ocean, the only thing going on at the moment. And you can see it's quite a round system, probably moderately sized, certainly bigger than Taiwan now, so the effects of the storm will be felt across the whole island. And looking at 2013 compared then, 6 tropical storms, 2 typhoons, and this one, Soulik, is the first typhoon to reach Category 3 status and become a major hurricane, as it would be in the Atlantic, but obviously the classifications are slightly different. It almost made it to super typhoon status, but didn't quite get there, peaking at winds of 145 miles per hour. Thank goodness that the storm is still not at that intensity at this stage, but it still is a Category 2 storm with winds of 100 miles per hour, still a force to be reckoned with, and a powerful storm which could cause quite a storm surge as well as it makes landfall in Taiwan in the next 12 hours or so. And don't forget, you can track the storm and indeed any other storms that you may be interested in as they form on the website force13.com/storm tracking, and then you're presented with the overview map with the top and bottom tables which show which storms are active and any warnings that are in effect, and then you can go basin by basin more in depth to see the tracking maps and indeed any warning information in more detail, any information about the storm as well. And that'll be updated in between now and the bulletin, so make sure you check it out in between this time and midnight UTC when the bulletin will be out. The bulletin, midnight UTC, that'll be at the beginning of Saturday morning, July the 13th. That'll be the next update on this storm, along with post-tropical storm Chantal. But that's all for now.